Hello, everybody. It's Lynnis, and welcome to Lynnis Minutes. I hope everybody had
anion product. A product, negative ions come from lightning strike, and we do not want to.
And it's really because I have a three-part framework or process called exploration.
some quick tips, tools, and techniques that are going to aid you in midlife. The other thing I learned during this whole process was the importance of stretching. The retreat was from 9 to 2, so it was long. And I was sitting behind the controls the whole time, monitoring stuff and doing stuff behind the scenes. But that doesn't mean that because I was off camera a lot of the time, that I couldn't get up and do some stretches. And that's what I did. And the stretches not only revived me, but they also kept me from being sore and being tight in my muscles when I finally left for the day. It helped me to calm down because I was stretching throughout the day to help me keep my ligaments, the blood flowing through my ligaments. That's so important. And also making sure the blood was flowing to my head. Okay, because your brain needs nourishment, and it gets nourishment from the blood flow that goes to the head. That's why doing things like the downward dog in yoga is so important, because it does help to bring blood to your head so that you can see, so that you can focus better, so you can think better, so you can process more information. So I was very thankful for that. And the final thing that I learned while doing this is grace. Being gracious with yourself, giving grace to yourself. It doesn't help to beat up on yourself when things start going wrong. It doesn't help to beat up on yourself when you are the person who's got to figure it out. Giving yourself grace and saying affirmations to yourself about, how much you love yourself, how wonderful you are. I did some tapping, that's for sure. Definitely did some tapping during some of those times when technology wasn't working the way I wanted it to work. But I gave myself grace before I started, the day, gave myself grace during the day, gave myself grace afterwards. And instead of beating up on myself in terms of what didn't work, I was very thankful for what did work, and focused on that instead. And what I did during that time is that I really wanted to begin to write down those things that I was grateful for as it was happening. I have a list of things here. I don't know if you can see it or not. Probably can't see. Oh, there it goes. There you can see a little bit. That was my grateful list. And there was a whole bunch of things to be grateful for, because there was a whole other things that was going on in the background. But bottom line was that I used that inner wisdom that all of us have from all the different teachings that I've had through the years, and all the different teachings I'm sure that you've had too. If you use those things, if you allow them to come forth, it will get you through whatever it is you have to face. The bottom line is that if God brings you to it, then he will bring you through it. He gave me this idea for the Hope and Wellness virtual retreat. He gave me the idea for the Hope and Wellness brand. Therefore, he was going to give me everything that I needed to be able to do that. He gave me a beautiful partner in Carolyn McGraw. He gave me these wonderful speakers, not once, but 4 different times, because I had that 2-day summit in May, and that was another set of speakers, about 14 speakers. And then the 2-day virtual retreat just this past weekend, another 21 speakers. He blessed me with over 30 speakers, women who I did not know. There were 2 or 3 that I knew, but most of them I didn't know. They just came in from different parts of the United States and the world to support this effort because they believed in the messaging. So if you have something within you that you want to do, and you've been putting it off because things aren't perfect, I encourage you to jump into the icy cold water, okay, and do that thing, because you'll receive all the things that you need to over time to get it done. It's a shame when we have these dreams in our hearts and minds that we want to pursue, and then we don't really do it because of fear or because things don't seem to be perfect. It's always going to be a challenge. There's always going to be something that's going to stop you. Take it from me. I've been jumping into icy cold water for the last 12 years, doing things that I've never done before, taking chances on things that I, may or may not work, because, it's online. Online businesses were brand new when I was starting in almost 12 years ago. So it did take a little bit of courage, but it also took a lot of faith. And it was faith that got me through this weekend, let me tell you, making sure that I got the rest and that I shut down all the way, making sure that I stayed hydrated, making sure that I stretched, making sure that I gave myself grace and stayed in gratitude. And number 5, most of all, always trusting that if God brought me to this and things weren't working out right, that somehow or other things were going to work out right. I'm so glad that I, stayed faithful and stayed disciplined and got this summit through. And because it's awesome, I'm telling you, what is shared is awesome, and there's something there for everyone.